Sound resumed.
All right. Welcome to the ROFL House show. Tonight joining me and Mitachi and Virgin Destroyer 7 will be the gentleman from SIK, Freedom Goose and HT. Hey guys.
How you doing?
What's up?
There we go.
You guys sound so excited.
Yeah, I know. Hey guys. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about SIK's corp history or clan history and, how you guys came into being. So why don't you guys give us a little bit of history on that? How did you guys form SIK? What are games you participate in? Give us some info. Tell us what's up.
Well, a long, long time ago in a game that we all pretty much played, MAG, SIK got together, a few of us in the beginning, probably around 4 or 5 of us, always played together, always talked about, let's started playing. Eventually one day we did, and then since that day we've just been growing, getting stronger and better every month and every year. My favorite thing about SIK is that even though we retain the solid player base that we always had since the beginning, we have a bunch of great new additions to the clan that bring new and different things. Got a lot of guys who spend a lot of time just devoting efforts to the site. They're at the site that are a lot of guys devoting time to helping other people get new games off the ground. Right? Without a lot of those new members and old members, SIK would have not been around this long, but we are lucky to have been. A lot of clans don't last as long as we have.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so, we were very fortunate to get you over here, it's ROFL for multiple reasons besides being outstanding gamers and whatnot. What kind of helped you guys decide, or how the whole, finding out about Rise of Legion came about, and, how did you guys end up joining up?
When we first looked at Dust as a game we wanted to expand to, we did a little bit more research about how the game is going to operate and realized that it would be really beneficial to be part of the alliance early on to kind of get our foot in the door and be able to put roots down before the game comes out. And when we looked around all the different things existing at the time, it looked like the one and only real viable option was to go with ROFL. And I don't know how many months later it is now, still feel the same way. Right, got a great group of corps here with a bunch of great players. There are so many people that are knowledgeable on both the Dust and Eve side. So whenever anyone has a question, there's always someone around to help. That was really what we thought ROFL would be. Some place where we can really see the connection between the Eve and the Dust games come to life and really see a game unlike we've seen before.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been awesome playing with you guys. I'd like to say that, I probably try to log more Dust time with these two gentlemen, and more than anybody else I play with. I'm finally getting some people in my own corp to play a little more Dust, but yeah, it's been good times for sure. A little extra history on you guys. You guys obviously we had within the alliance a little bit of a video contest a while back. And we just kind of put it out there for all the different corps and stuff. And you guys were the predeterminate winners. You actually had other people absolutely withdraw from the contest once you guys submitted your video. So that was pretty exciting, pretty cool. And if you guys ever watched any of the recruitment videos been posted up, I'm going to try to get it back up here in a little while. Right now the media is down for me. But it's a great recruitment video, and we really appreciate your guys' efforts.
Oh yeah, we definitely, at that stage of the game for us, we looked at what we can really do to help out the Alliance. And, we weren't that knowledgeable about Eve or about the same level as Dust with all the other guys at that point in time. So we thought that'd be a great thing for us to do to help out.
Absolutely. So if anybody out there is looking for... Oh, go ahead, VD.
I was going to say, one of the really great things about the video that you guys did is that, was it Eve News 24 recognized it for promoting Dust the right way? Like, you guys did it the way that they were hoping we would, and it's really cool that you guys recognized throughout the Eve and Dust community for doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, I highly recommend if anybody out there is looking to get a recruitment video, these guys probably could be contracted even if you're not in ROFL. for the right amount of money and effort and energy, I'm sure they'd be happy, and they are very good at what they do. So I would definitely highly recommend these gentlemen for anything you need to do as far as film, animation, those type of things. They could probably get a hookup on something.
Maybe for the right price.
There you go. Mercenaries in all forms, right?
Yeah, exactly. Going back to what VD said about the Eve News recognizing it, it was nice to see them, because what we were going for with that video was to kind of show that you didn't have to be a Dust-centric or Eve-centric alliance. It could be one that operates in both games, right? So I think since then a lot of people have kind of realized that once a game, we see it come to its fullest in the future, which who knows how many years, that you'll need not only a strong Dust presence, but also strong Eve presence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, news has been a little bit slow, but I've been a little bit slow at it too. I've noticed the other day I had several people asking me, who was going to FanFest and all that stuff. I know you guys aren't making the trip this year. I know we had some other people that are, but I didn't even realize that FanFest tickets are completely sold out at this point. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I heard about that a couple days ago, actually.
I think
How
it's
many tickets do they sell each year?
They actually expanded their venue a couple years ago because they moved to the new Opera House they built over there, and in that great city of, I think it's pronunciated, I'm so good with pronunciations for everybody's flown and flew with me. I think it's Rheinavak in Iceland, but I can't remember. There you go. See, I always need somebody to correct me. But I can't remember how many seats it is right now. But I know they expanded the venue from what they used previously. But I think this is the first year they completely sold out at this point. So I think this is, it's their 10th year anniversary for, the flagship title, EVE Online. So I think it's really going to be an excellent fan fest. I'm super jealous of everybody who's going out there. But I think we're going to have some of the people, and I think, like you guys, some part of that we're talking about, we're going to sit in with me on some of the commentary we're going to do, because we're going to have some people live out there at FanFest, and ROFL House is going to do some broadcasting during that whole week in April of all the goings-ons, as it were. So that should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think everyone's really excited to see what they're actually going to announce there, right? Because there's so many things in the works and plans and things that they said in the past that we're just waiting to come to life.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you guys, for those of you who don't know about FanFest or anything like that, is like the world's biggest gamer Eve Dust lover party in the entire universe. I welcome you to pencil into your schedules between April 25th and 27th. It's like a super fly party. And for those of you who obviously don't have tickets, can't go out there, you should absolutely, follow the stream, make sure you show up over here, join in the conversation, because we're going to be not only monitoring the stream live with everybody else that, is a huge follower of EVE Online and Dust 514, but we're also going to be doing commentary, discussion afterwards, kind of hitting the points and topics that we really want to vocalize from what we see them present. So I think it's a really important people can get involved in that, and we start pimping that right away. But again, that's from April 25th through the 27th, and we'll be doing some consistent live streaming during that whole beautiful weekend. So make sure you attend that.
I heard something about making Sam wear a shirt. Is that shirt been created yet?
Yeah, we're working out the details on that. So we're working out the details. Like, I definitely want to have him represent ROFL out there, but I think I'm still in negotiations on getting the back printed of, Matachi made me wear this shirt. So he
can just tattoo it on himself if that's easier.
A ROFL tattoo. I want to see who's the first person in ROFL to get a ROFL tattoo. That would be interesting.
But there's already somebody that does.
Who has a ROFL tattoo? Somebody does?
It was on our Facebook group. It was, he's a death dealer.
No doubt. I want a linky. If we can find that. I want to see that.
If I can find it.
If you don't have it, I see Royal on the stream here do it. Find the link. I want to see the tattoo. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's Necro. See, there you go.
Yeah. He'll get it. That's pretty impressive. We already got a ROFL tattoo out there. Ansar's been after me for a while. He's like, we got to get ROFL tattoos. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I want to, but, you know, I don't know if it's a if it meets wife approval, unfortunately for me. But we'll see what we can do on that. Might be one of those things snuck in there. No, so what's I know we're under a media blackout. So guys, what's the information let's go wild speculation now. What's the information you're most anticipating that's supposed to be revealed here in the next couple of months about Dust 514? If you could just pick a couple items. I know there's like a shit ton, but
Freedom, do you want to go first?
Oh no, you meant.
The one thing I can't wait for from the beginning is the market to actually open up fully, like it does in EVE on the Dust side, to be able to manufacture weapons, be able to sell that salvage, right? Because after new guys in the game that I play with for my clan, they play a game and they go, I got all these parts, and I'm like, yeah, you can't use them. Sorry, right? It's to have that player-driven market carry over to the Dust side, I think would add a totally different thing and open people's eyes up to actually the scope and the magnitude that this game possesses. Right, that's one thing I'm really excited for. And the other thing Freedom hates that I complain about is that I want to know which direction I'm spawning in ambush. Just please.
Which way you're going to face when you spawn?
Exactly. I have no clue sometimes when I spawn what map I'm on at the very beginning if I miss the map or what direction I'm facing.
I think that wouldn't that kind of hinder the whole random spawn thing if you knew what direction or anything like that? I wonder how they'd do that indicator-wise. That'd be interesting.
Just show myself where I'm going to spawn as well, but what direction I'm going to face in. I don't want to know where anyone else spawns, just myself.
Occasionally you'll get that with lag, and it's like, oh my god, yes, I know where I'm spawning, but because of lag, you lag out. That sucks, but at least you gotta know where you're spawning, right?
Absolutely. I could see that. That's an interesting one, for sure.
I heard that part of the reason why when you spawn and you're like what direction and area you are in has to do with part of the whole dust lore, that it's like consciousness traveling from one body to another. That when it wakes up, it's, you know what I mean? Like what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that actually.
It's kind of like it could kind of in a state of confusion for a couple seconds until you get your bearings.
That makes perfect sense, actually. The one thing I would like to see on spawns, and this is just me, I think that you should spawn in a pod falling to the ground. You know, like when you deploy, like you see all these things crashing in and stuff like that. Because, I mean, obviously a clone doesn't materialize on the ground. I think there should it not necessarily be just the MCC, but just like, say you're playing a game like Ambush or something like that. You're actually being dropped from like a mothership or something, you know, above space in like these default clones, and your consciousness is being teleported to it, so it's just like dropping you from the sky, and boom, you're just breaking on the ground, random location, stuff like that. Just to, you know, tie it in a little bit more of the lore. That's me getting a little bit more RP than most people probably like, but I mean, I think that'd be cool, because that would take care of what HT's request is, where he knew what kind of, you know, some kind of direction. You'd still be disoriented because you're falling, you just wake up falling from the sky, basically, you know, but then you hit the dirt. And maybe if you could drive those things a little bit, that would be cool. For all those guys who, you know, also play computer games, if you ever played 2142 Battlefield, I really picture, like, you know, when you used to be able to get in those pods and either eject from somewhere or launch from some of the transport vehicles, you had this, like, weird ability to kind of steer them as they fell, as they free fall. That's what I would like to see. Because then you could do all sorts of crazy stuff, like crash on people's heads and stuff like that.
In one of the trailers, they had one of those ships that flew over and then ejected almost
exactly
the heavies, and then they dropped to the ground.
That's what I want to see in even the high SIK matches. It's like, it can be totally randomized, like I have absolutely no control or very little control or whatever. But I really, you know, I'm kind of over the whole COD thing, like, hey, I just appear here. I want that extra dynamic in Dust where I feel like, you know, like VD said, like I'm waking up in my body, I'm disoriented, but my point of origin's from this like either pod or something coming from the sky and crashing into the ground. I think that would be cool. And
even if before you spawn they gave you like 2 seconds of inertia dampen.
exactly, but I mean, let's say if you're in the protected like capsule, you don't really have a viewport, or anything. You just hit the ground, and maybe like when not necessarily when you get hit by grenades, but some of the things like the mass drivers that kind of shake you to where you have a hard time firing or anything like that. Like whenever you actually, land, you might have the advantage of knowing direction, but you can't really instantly react at it outside the pod. It's like takes maybe half a second or a second before you're just ready to run because you got to hit the dirt. Same thing when you inertia dampen and you hit the ground. You can't just instantly hop up. You got to like stand up then go. So kind of give that little balance of advantage there. I think it'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
I think that would solve my problem. Hopefully CCP listens to this.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I mean, it's just one of those things that makes it more tied into what their lore looks like, and what if you go back to Templar 1 and what they had in that, and blah blah blah. I have a prediction of what we might see at FanFest. I think they'll show the MTACs. I think we'll see at least a CG model of the MTACs at FanFest. I'm not saying they'll be working this year. I'm not saying anything like that. I think we'll see MTACs at FanFest on the CG, like, ooh, ah screen.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because it's like they're big, you know what I mean? Gets people pumped up for it, right?
Yeah, it's like the next level stuff. It's like, here's the big mech walkers that they talked about very briefly last year, that they're hopes and guys of like moving forward. The territorial control stuff. I want to see these MTACs. I'm excited. More vehicles. Supposedly some information sources leaked they've got over 20 new like designs of vehicles or something like that they're currently like testing and stuff like that. Nothing that's like in pure development, but they have all these conceptual things they've been playing around with. So some of that stuff would be really cool to see at FanFest, and develop a little bit more of a timeline on things.
Yeah, timeline I think is a lot of people would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And especially the Minotaur MTAC, like Omicron says, they're duct taped together.
That would be cool. I don't know. I could be dating myself. If anybody ever played Warhammer like 40K, like with the little miniatures, or Epic, if you played Warhammer Epic Arc and stuff back in the old tabletop days, I'm really dating myself now. They had these things. You had the orcs and you had the Space Marines and you had all that stuff. I picture Minotaur MTACs much like what they called the Gargants of the orcs, where they were just big avatars that were baled and taped together, but you could punch holes in them all day with some of the more technical suits and different things like that, but they would actually just keep on going because they're like rolling trash cans. So I could see that all day long. Just fields of dust and rust coming off of them, but they just keep on rolling. That would be really cool.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. Like, how do you feel about if they started implementing like faction or factual like suits and vehicles and stuff like that?
I'm cool with that because it's like it gives people a purpose. They're talking about, I mean, the basis of that's like the LP, what they talk about, right? They're talking about possibly giving, Dusty's like standings, LP points, things like that, just hypothetically, like, yeah, we're thinking about doing these type of things, if you listen to Cast 514's last episode 9 or whatever it was. I think they're really talking about pushing things in that direction, and I support that. I think as a Dust Soldier, you want the opportunity to be a pirate, to be a merc, to be, affiliated with an actual, factional warfare group. Same options that you get as a pilot in EVE. I think those things are important, and I think the decisions your corp makes, whether to actually remain a mercenary or maybe be more, even join a faction, would be really, really dynamic and interesting, Instead of like, hey, my special corp of 10 guys is the same as everybody else's corps of 10 guys, and we're all mercenaries, and there's no trade-off. There's no, breeding loyalty to one group or another. There's no standings involved at this point. There's no, you know what I mean? There's nothing to keep you engaged and make that choice, because for every choice in EVE, there's consequences, and that's what makes it really dynamic and interesting. So, really hope to see some of that stuff. VD, did you watch FanFest last year?
No.
No? Are you going to watch this year with us, I hope?
I'm going to watch this year because Sam has to be there.
Yeah. We're definitely looking for Sam to give us a shout out. Like, wave. We want to see him on camera. If he gets drunk enough, maybe streak. So, we just don't want to get him tossed out either, though. So, yep. We'll be excited to see Sam on location. He'll be giving us some feedback back and forth. Still working out how we're going to do the communication stuff, but yeah, it should be pretty exciting. We'll probably end up using some form of Skype or something, too, so that way he can be at least on the closeout shows.
I'm so excited.
Yep. That's what we have to look forward right now, I mean, that's what I'm most excited about. So, back to focus on the SIK guys here. You're getting a little feedback in your mic too, VD, that I'm hearing. But back to focus on the SIK guys. If somebody is interested in joining your guys' corp, what process do they need to go through to get in touch with you guys? Where would they go? What would they look at? How does somebody, apply to SIK?
All right. Well, we're pretty heavily reliant on our website. Some of our older members and newer members have actually built a really, really cool website. It's actually based off Engine. Is it Engine? Engine. And so you actually just go to SIKNation.com, and there should be a giant button that says Join SIK Nation. You fill out a little application, and we have almost hundreds of people now that go through the applications, and we'll sort through, and they'll make it to one of our dust officers, either me, HT, or Minotaur. And we go from there, play with the players, see if we like them. The only thing is, for SIK, a requirement is to have a microphone. We're pretty stringent on that one. We would like our players to have a microphone.
Right on. We'll definitely get some more links up for some of that stuff too. Also, as an alternative, I believe your website's still linked on the main ROFL Alliance pages too.
Yep.
So you can always go to riselegion.com, as linked up in chat there. And if you check the public section under the ROFL info and all that, you can find how corporations can join, or individual members that are or players seeking out to join groups such as SIK and many of the other ROFL corps. You're welcome to go through there and be able to check out all the different websites, all the different areas of interest, and get more information that way. Another thing, while I'm on the subject of forums, I'd like to put up there, we got the ROFL, and Royal just mentioned it in the chat, we have the ROFL TV section is now up. Right now we just have ROFL House show on there. We are going to be adding the additional streamers, their different sections and shows, as we have their schedules available for their shows put up in that section too. And if you guys out there watch these shows before, during, after the fact, live, whatever you do, if you want to see some other content, have some other suggestions, or even questions about anything we're talking about or something of that nature, I really recommend that you go over to riselegion.com, register as a user, go down the public section, check out ROFL TV, and just, chat it up. Come in there. It doesn't matter if you're an Alliance member, doesn't matter if you're just a regular guest, whatever you want to do. We'd like some feedback and input, because we want to put on what you guys want to see. We want to really get it out there, and our main goal is to get more information out into the community, specifically for the EVE Dust link. And, we're willing to kind of expand and talk about whatever engages our followers the most. That's something that's really important to me, so I made sure we got it up there, and we're just going to keep on moving. I also saw Freedom, he linked up the direct connect over to SIKNation.com, so guys, be sure to check that out as well. So yeah, I think we've covered about everything we had there. The only other thing that I was going to throw out there hypothetically that I wanted to see at FanFest, which I thought would be interesting, is I want to see if anything develops about the CFC and the HBC war stuff, like publicly out there. I wanted to see that, but I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, looks like we might have a special guest knocking at the door up here. Maybe we should just drag him in the show. What do you guys think?
I'd say go for
Yeah,
it.
do it.
Yeah, let's just drag him in.
User was moved to your channel.
Alec, how are you doing?
Doing good, man.
Yep, you're now a surprise guest on the show because you came to call us. There you go. So, just popped in and figured I'd just go ahead and throw you in the mix. We were just wrapping up with the SIK boys here for their little corp stuff and talking a little bit about FanFest and some of the other things of that nature. So, how you been?
Well, I've been good. Was busy for a bit, and then I moved up to Philadelphia, and now I'm finally able to like sit down. I was out of internet for like a week.
Oh my God, how did you survive?
It's the longest week ever.
I know. But like I expected Comcast to have my internet stuff done by the time I got there, but just one problem after another.
Yeah.
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 Luckily, I planned ahead and downloaded a whole bunch of anime off the net, so I could watch it just in case something like this happened.
Well, it's good to always be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it works.
How things been with you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just kind of maintaining. I mean, we're on pretty much on the dust side of things. They're on a media blackout almost right now until the 21st, I guess. Not really a media blackout, but more all the CCP Shanghai and everybody on that side of the ball for dust is like on hiatus until the 21st. Which I find interesting because PlayStation is supposed to, Sony's supposed to announce a new PlayStation on the 20th. I don't know if it's coincidental or not. It just sounds kind of weird, but...
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I do know that the dust minutes are still not done.
What is up with that?
At this point, I suspect it's the dust team trying to drag their heels on that as much as humanly possible.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd want them out there before FanFest hit because I wouldn't want it to be like we're dragging these out past, April. That'd be kind of weird.
Frankly, it's already kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, apparently it was that rough, huh?
It was bad.
Yeah.
But, I guess they're just... My guess is maybe they're postponing until they're able to address whatever. Or maybe they're just hoping the CSM forgets. I don't know.
I don't know. Have you ever known a CSM to forget about something like that? I haven't.
No, in fact, the more they make us wait, the more we're going to get on about it.
Yeah. I think they're trying to rush out some new features to go, yes, we admit all this sucks, but look at this shiny new this, and I think they just don't have the new this yet to present in replacement of that, so they're trying to quick something, so all the best of luck, CCP. Hopefully you guys can pull it out of the fire, because I'd hate for it to, they don't need another, I don't think it'd cause a media shitstorm, but I think it would definitely cause some issues, would be the best way to put it. It's a backlash.
It's not a shitstorm, but now the embarrassment is they have no workflow capacity to edit, 3 or 4 pages per minute, or per session, or whatever it would turn out to be.
Yeah.
Every other department at CCP was able to do that. Apparently the Dust team can't handle it.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't sound good. So I remember you told me that you're not making FanFest trip this year.
No, I am not able to go.
Yeah. Man, this is the one year I wish, 10th year anniversary. It would be cool, pretty cool. We do have a couple guys going out there ourselves for representing ROFL, as it were. But I am still never been one of these days. Maybe the 20th year.
Something to behold. I didn't go to the 10th anniversary fan fest, but like I can only imagine how they're going to step it up in that.
I think they have to. I think this, if they've been holding back on anything, it should be this one's where you should blow the wad, as it were. I think it should be pretty interesting. So it'll either be epically interesting or phenomenally disappointing. So I'm hoping for the former.
I would err on the side of interesting, because on FanFest at least, that's something CCP lives up to absolutely every expectation and then some.
Yeah, and I think one of the things they do well is they usually just have a huge amount of, I wouldn't say solid information, but a whole lot of flash and dash about like everything potentially that's coming and all this stuff. And, they're really good about getting you hyped up. And I really look forward to FanFest every year to get me re-engaged and excited about both EVE, and now Dust as well. But that's the thing I watch that really re-energizes me into the game. Things start to feel kind of draggy. You're trying to look for stuff to do in game a little bit. You watch FanFest, it gets you reinvigorated, gets you excited, gets you re-engaged with the community. And they usually have lots of really interesting events, to even just watch on the streams and stuff. So I can only imagine actually being there and being able to drink beer and stuff, how much more interesting it would be. Alas, I will drink my crown from home and watch.
Have they announced if it's going to be streamed?
I'm sure they will. I mean, it was to huge amounts of success last year. So they streamed the whole thing last year, and it was very widely acceptable and successful. I mean, they had, what was it, because they did a co-stream on part of it for the Dust presentation with PlayStation, and they had, what was it, over 200,000 people, I thought it was, easily? It was something crazy. It could even be more than that. I could be underselling it. There was something crazy amount of people watching the streams, that just had interest in Dust and EVE and all the other stuff. And a lot of people from EVE, I know, our whole group, we all bought the, what was it, a Plex or something? I don't even remember. It was a Plex or something to watch the whole thing via the, CCP TV thing or the EVE TV thing, and we all watched it. Got up every day, watched it as a broadcast, and that's it. It was good.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do it again.
Yeah. I think they will. I haven't heard anything solid. We should probably, that'd be a great question. We should ask on the forums over there on EVE to see if they're going to do that. Because you would think they would start pimping that here by the end of this month.
It's probably just one of those things, like of course, they just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If it was successful last year, they'll do it again.
Well, yeah, it was widely successful. And I mean, it's nothing but a huge marketing ploy for them, and it allows us to get information out to the masses that can't go to the event. So I think it's good. Right on.
Yeah, those streams and videos, I know when me and Freedom first started playing EVE, they're very helpful for new players to actually understand a little bit what's going on in there. Right, there's always tons and tons of tutorial videos, but seeing like the new cool features kind of gets those new players excited about the game and want to play it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's EVE Online is one of the hardest games for me personally to explain to somebody else. People ask me, well, what is EVE? It's just it's a spaceship game that's really cool and engaging and socially dynamic and probably the most complicated MMO you could ever play. That doesn't really sound super attractive when you just say it like that, you know what I mean? It's like you almost have to show people that. And the problem you have is a lot of the visuals what people see out there, they see the highlight reels of like groups like Test and Goons like dropping 2,000 people on an unsuspecting force and crushing it, and people come into EVE and they think, well, this is how it is every day, and it's not. It's like 95% preparation, 5% glory. But that 5% of glory is so worth the other part, you know, it's so worth it. It's like all the prep, all the training, all the other stuff you do. It's amazing how you can still get the shakes and get that adrenaline pumping when you tackle that, you know, Navy ship or that faction ship, and he's just like hosed, and you and your 5 buddies with smaller ships just rip him apart. And he cries, and he sends you hate mail, and you love every minute. You frame it on the wall. It's beautiful. It's good stuff. So how are things going for Noir right now, Alec? I mean, you know, obviously you've been on hiatus moving and all that stuff. I mean, you guys still with, what was it, Black Legion?
Yep, still with Black Legion.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently down in SIK, which is in Iridia, down the sort of south end of the low-sec map. Engaging Test Alliance and various activities, mostly just reinforcing bosses, and then either killing the boss or waiting till they bring overwhelming numbers to repair the boss.
Just a little guerrilla warfare type stuff going on then, right?
Well, I don't know about all that. I mean, it's pretty standard warfare. I mean, there's nothing like hit and runny about it, really. It's just Black Legion punches very high above their weight. Like, it would not be an odd thing for them to take like 60 guys against 180 guys, just because the fleet comps they run and the quality of the FCs. So, to engage test, they're just sort of going in there doing it. We pretty much have an op, like 1 or 2 ops in the EU time zone, late EU time zone, and 1 or 2 ops in the late US time zone. And then, like, that's pretty much a daily schedule from what I can see. It's really impressive that the FCs were able to keep up that kind of pace. And then in between that, you got people going out for rooms.
Yeah.
We actually did a contract, though, which is fun.
Oh, yeah? Still picking up contracts and stuff?
Yeah, it was a very, pretty much one of the main reasons we decided to go with Black Legion is we talked to them ahead of time and said, look, you know, mercenaries are who we are. This is why this corp exists. Can we still take contracts on our own? They said, sure, as long as it doesn't conflict with their deployments. So after we got done dropping some dreads in low-sec, I got a little tidbit in Merc Contracts channel. Some guy's wormhole was being attacked, and he needed a defense, like right now. Like they were in the process of hitting his gun. And I had a fleet, like, all ready to go, and we just got done hitting dread, so it's like, Noir Academy, and anyone else from Black Legion that wants to go fight in a wormhole, drop down the channel.
There you go.
We got a nice, quick 30-man fleet together, and despite the fact that most of the Black Legion guys were about, I don't know, -10 or so, and then the rest of them had kill rights, hoofed them all, like 30 jumps through Empire, cut them through the Mar and everything to get to this wormhole entrance in Gears. And oh my god.
I was going to say, sounds like quite an undertaking going through all that Empire space, but that was exciting
it was
itself.
Hilarious. Like, so much faction police would spawn every time they jumped in. We did lose like 2 battle cruisers to kill rights along the way, but we made enough off the contract that I didn't even think twice about repaying. And once we got there, it was pretty cool. The attackers of POS pretty much did everything right. They not only had the entrance to that wormhole bubble, but they had a couple tacklers around there as well, so even if you got out of the bubble, they were slowing you down. And our employer, I guess, forgot to cloak or was decloaked on the enemy fleet, so he got popped. By the time our injectors got a warp in to replace him, their fleet had already scooted off, and we were basically stuck with the guys on the wormhole. But that was fine, because it was like a 1 billionist Proteus, a Phobos, and a Razu, a second Proteus that just managed to get away. Killed that, killed their tower, got them to surrender an Orca to extract all their stuff, so the employer got a free Orca out of it, and it took us forever to take their tower down, but eventually it was down, and we talked them into offlining it as part of their extraction, so we didn't have to come back a second time. All told, it was a big pile of money for 1 day's work, got some good kills out of it, and I don't know, it was really nice to get back on the contract thing, because we hadn't been hired in a while.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. Sounds pretty good for sure.
If anyone's looking to hire low-sec, 0-0, wormholes, we are available.
Absolutely.
It's like, since I've been in Black Legion, I haven't had to, like, take all the shitty attack this 20-man griefer corp type contract
Yeah.
that we usually get. So
Well, because you
that
guys
could
got
happen.
content from playing with Black Legion, now you get a little more pick of the litter, as it were. Kind of
Exactly.
nice.
So
Yeah.
I've basically been holding off till we get a good one that's, not only fun but also pays well. And those are rare to come by, unfortunately.
If somebody wants to contract you guys, how do they go about getting a hold of you? In order
Email
to,
Alexiev card with all the relevant information.
there you go. You guys
Simple
heard it
as.
here. So if you guys need, if you're having trouble with somebody, please try to make the contract lucrative and interesting, so you do get chosen. But just be sure to shoot an email to Alec here in game, and he will take care of you. He will get in touch with you. So that's pretty
Best
good.
customer service NA.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all we got for this episode right now. But I definitely appreciate Freedom and HT, you guys joining us tonight for the show. And Alec, thanks for popping in. We're always glad to have you every time.
Good to be a surprise guest.
Absolutely. We'll have to, maybe you'll be able to sit in on some of the commentary we do over FanFest. As long as they do the stream and the broadcast and all that stuff. I think we're going to do little synopsis shows following their broadcast day. For
I'd be up for that, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. We'll just have a little discussion, invite the community in, and maybe talk about what we see on the thing. It'd be kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, depending on scheduling. I mean, tentatively, yes. Yeah. But that's a bit far out. But yeah, I like the idea.
Yeah, definitely. All right,
Pencil me
guys.
in.
Well, for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the ROFL House show. Be sure to keep on following. We're up to 100 followers. I thank you very much. All your contributions have gone towards making some extra good equipment, subscription stuff, so I will be at least around for the next 18 months. So that's good. And I appreciate it. Keep your donations coming in. We'll have a new widget up soon. And, that's it for me. Good night, guys.